Thank you very much, Graham. Now, of course, this morning we're joined by very inspirational storytellers. And I don't know if you know the story of anti-apartheid activist Ashley Kriel, who was regarded as the Che Guevara of Bontejevel. And although his life was cut short at the age of 20, he will be remembered by many as an iconic struggle hero. And so enter young filmmaker Nadine Cloete, who's chronicled his story in a touching documentary called Action Kommandant. And it's so good to have you here on our show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So talk to me about this story and what it is about Ashley Kriel, his history, his activism that warranted you telling the story. Why did you want to tell it so much?
Well, I saw archive footage of Ashley at a production company I was working with at Rainbow Circle Films. And Rainbow Circle Films had did documentaries on Colleen Williams and Anton Franz. And then I saw this archive footage of Ashley addressing a crowd. And it kind of just drew me in, his passion, his charisma. And I didn't know much about him, and I wanted, and I guess the story started that way, me wanting to know more, who is the person behind the fist in the air.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm always fascinated by young people like yourselves who are so intricately involved in finding out about our history and about the struggle that we fought in the past. And when you look at what we're doing right now, you've been very involved in the Roads Must Fall, Fees Must Fall movement in terms of documenting it. Do you draw any parallels between how the struggle was fought back then versus what we're doing now?
Well, I think, it's a complicated one, but people, a lot of people say, were we really born free? Are we still having the same conversations that were happening in 1976? So, it's interesting that the film is now being released in the 40th, in the year that we celebrate the 40th commemoration of June 16th, right? There are similarities and differences. I think the radicalism is maybe the same, and but now we are more open to addressing issues of like patriarchy and, things like that weren't maybe so much at the forefront. I mean, it was an issue back then, but,
yes, still.
But now I think we're pushing those issues more. And back then we were fighting, that we have equal education, right? And now we are talking about decolonize this education that we have. Yeah,
there's just so much so much more to fight for and talk about. And you've just recently returned from the Seattle International Film Festival, where I believe the reception for the documentary was very good.
Yeah.
What do you think is it that draws people to the story, and who do you think in South Africa now should be watching this?
Well, I think, yes, it's a very South African story, but it also has universal elements to it, right? Like this one girl that came to see the film in Seattle, she's involved with an anti-bullying campaign at her university. Yeah. So watching the film really inspired her to see how young people were doing things in South Africa back then. And of course, everybody should come and see the film. Yeah.
Should I go and see it?
Yes, you should come
I was waiting for you to say, yeah. Even you, even you. Well, listen, Nadine, thank you very much for, I think, firstly, being interested and passionate enough about our history, especially as we're celebrating Youth Month, to tell our stories, because it is so incredibly important. And Ashley, or Nadine, does this through the documentary called Action Kommandant, which forms part of the Encounters Documentary Festival that's happening between the 2nd and the 12th of June in Johannesburg and in Cape Town. In fact, for more information, go visit the website www.encounters.co.za. Still lots more to come on your Fielded Breakfast show this morning.